Okay, so kids, we're gonna resume with the story. But first, I want to remind you that it's not a real story. Okay, it is not based on real events. So, let's continue. But a ruler cannot stay hidden. Replace God with ruler. After the wedding, all the spirits of the sea rose to the surface to sing, and Poseidon assumed his power form once more. He vowed to rebuild the island and make it fit for a king and his queen. So here they're telling you that a ruler, he's the ruler, the one who gives orders. He cannot stay hidden, he cannot keep it a secret that he's a ruler. So after his wedding, the spirits of the sea, as you can see, these spirits, the souls, okay, they came out of the sea, and Poseidon showed his power, revealed his power. He vowed to rebuild, he promised that he will build the island and make it a suitable place, a good place for the king, Poseidon, and his queen, Clyde. Poseidon used his powers beyond human imagining to transform the isle into a paradise. So he used his power to transform, so he used imagination that he would transform the isle into a happy place. First, he arranged alternate circles of land and sea, 3 of land and 3 of water. So he arranged the land and water to enclose the mountain. Within each circle of land, a forest sprang up. For every circle there was a forest that came up. Trees bloomed and grew heavy with fruits. There were trees that grew with fruits, and there were creatures that multiplied. There were many people that came to this place. Next, he made a network of canals. He made the canals fed by waterfalls. Soon the island was yielding 2 crops each year, one watered by winter rains, the other irrigated by Poseidon's canals. The rich earth was carpeted with herbs and vegetables, and thick with healing roots. From its depths men dug out priceless yellow mountain copper. All things flourished on the sacred island. So here they're telling you that there were many things in the island now. It is filled with lots of things. There is now crop, as you can see here. There is vegetables. Okay, so there were things growing on this island that didn't have anything. Remember, we said that it was a barren island. It was lifeless. Then under Poseidon's guidance, the inhabitants built a palace fit for a ruler. He replaced it with ruler, with towers, gates, and parapets, trimmed with gleaming brass and tin. In the center they set up a holy temple dedicated to Poseidon and Cleito, with pinnacles of silver surrounded by a wall of gold. So under his guidance, under his leading, the inhabitants, the people who are living in the island, they built a palace for Poseidon. They said that he's a ruler, so he has to have a palace, a large place to live in. There were towers, there were gates, and there were brass, and this is the brass, okay? It's shiny. It covered all the parapets. These parapets, it surrounds the balconies, bridges. So all of these things were built, and there were thermal baths, as you can see here. This bath where it gives out heat. Remember, thermal gives out heat. And there were aqueducts. Remember what aqueducts is? This is an example of an aqueduct where there are channels to water for water to move, fountains, and there were gardens, and even a huge race course. a place where horses can race. So it was a big place. There were many things. It was a happy time for Poseidon and Cleito, and over the years Cleito gave birth to 5 pairs of twin sons. Their firstborn son they named Atlas. In the summer of his 20th year he was crowned High King, and they named the island Atlantis in his honor. So now Cleito, she gave birth to 10 boys. Okay, pairs of twin here we mean two. Okay, so twins are usually two. So 5 pairs of twins means 10 boys. And the first boy she named Atlas. When he was 20, he was crowned. Okay, he was given the title as a king. And the island was named Atlantis. Then Poseidon divided the island into 10 parts and gave his sons 1/10 each. Also, every son took 1/10 of the island. The island, he divided it, splitted the island to 10 parts because he has 10 boys. He splitted the island, and each one took 1/10 of the island. Now the question is telling you, question number 3, or question number 4, sorry. Why do you think Poseidon divided the island into 10 parts? Why? Why do you think did he do that? Usually, when your mother or father gets you a toy, they would bring a toy also to your siblings, to your brothers or sisters. So it's the same thing here. So that they wouldn't fight, they would give a part of the island to the other boys. Okay, so the answer here, he gave one part to each son so they wouldn't fight. So they wouldn't argue with each other. Each one would take a part of the island.